This is going to be a story. Everything is going to be a story here. Um, just like you, everything is a story. So there's a story of the seeker that seemingly is looking for an attainment, looking for something different, looking for something that will elevate or enhance the seeker. Um, Usually, the seeker goes to a spiritual circus. Circus actually is the root word of circus is circle. Circle. So it goes into a really kind of like a never ending loop of seeking, a never ending loop of knowing, a never ending loop of a circle that keeps on going around and round and round, kind of like a merry-go-round. Um, One seeks for a teacher, a speaker, a seeker, but really there's no difference. There's really no difference. It's all entertainment. Lots of clowns. And it's all right. There's nothing wrong or right about that. But in this circus, there seems to be a knower that knows more, an authority that has more authority. There seems to be a source, a lineage, a seeming understanding. And in this circle, it goes in a loop over and over again. It pleases the seeker. It pleases the one that is apparently seeking. Although there's no seeker and there's no teacher or speaker, it goes into this circular loop over and over again, seemingly trying to find something that is appearing as everything. So it entertains ideas about, maybe we should do this, we should do that. Maybe there is a way out of this. It entertains the idea, maybe if I know more, maybe if I attend another um, retreat, or if I attend another one of those transmission, maybe this, not this lifetime, maybe next. Maybe if I improve my practice, maybe if I have a better karma, maybe if I have, maybe if I live my dharma. All of that seemingly is a circular movement of not really going anywhere. In the story of this character named Emerson, it went into that circle for quite a while. So it became a seeker, although no one becomes anything, seeking for a liberation. So there was this apparent history, there's no history, of an apparent seeker for something that is better than this. There's got to be something better than this. There's got to be something more. There's got to be some liberation. There's going to be some kind of elation, something different than this. So in that apparent story, it kept on going into the book of knowing, looking for chapter 2. Okay, I'm in chapter 2 right now. I'm going to meditate. Nothing wrong or right about that. It's just a story. Or chapter 3, I'm going to try to levitate. Try and all of these different ideas about something that keeps on going around and around and around. And this is might come as a shock to you, but what's apparently, this is just a suggestion. This is just apparently what's being called non-duality right now is almost becoming like an entertainment. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's become kind of like a circus as well. There is non-duality influencers out there. Nothing wrong or right about that. There is going to be non-dual therapy, integration, non-dual this, non-dual that, non-dual everything. And it's just appearing, and it's a circular loop again. So seemingly thinking that the character got out of religion, landed in a different cell, in a different jail, called spirituality, and then jumped out of spirituality and landed into non-duality. But it's still a circus. Because the moment that the character enters the unknowing, if it tries to know it, if it tries to understand, if it tries to grab it, if it tries to put characters that are speakers into pedestals, then it becomes a circus again. It becomes circular again. It becomes, well, according to this speaker, this is what it means. According to this speaker, according to this new speaker or old speaker, it doesn't really matter because there's no speakers out there. There's really no need. because what's really being expressed is quite obvious. Um, there's nothing wrong or right about, non-duality influencers or non-duality speakers, but there's none of them. There's none of them. So what's being expressed, even if it comes from a really clear expression, the moment that it becomes a something, a knowing, an understanding, it's back to the circus. It becomes a um, it becomes something. It becomes something that I understand now. I know that there's no me here. I know that this is um, whatever words that are used, or when there is a preference to hear unconditional love over and over again, or when there's a preference for unconditional freedom, although it can't be understood, there seems to be a preference to really grasp it. Oh yeah, that's unconditional love. And the worst thing that a seeker that could really happen is when there is a glimpse, because the glimpse becomes a carrot dangling. The glimpse becomes the experience. The oh, I had a glimpse with this, with Emerson or with any other speakers. There's no speakers. So when there's this glimpse, it becomes an addiction. What is behind that glimpse? Well, there's nothing. There's never really been a glimpse because the glimpse is the circus. The circus that keeps on going around and around. So what if there is an appearance of a contraction? So what if there's an appearance of a heaviness? So what if there's an app called the me that comes in and says, this is not it? Because to be able to see through the circus, to be able to see through the circus, it doesn't need a clown. To be able to um and it's just everything is appearing as it is. The moment that it becomes a story, the moment that becomes a merry-go-round, oh, I want to be able to, because I want to be able to see that emptiness again. Then it becomes a circus again. The moment that it expresses that it wants to feel that there's no me, it becomes a circus again. It goes into that circular knowing, unknowing, meing, being, understanding, not understanding, knowing, unknowing. Well, everything is appearing as it is. Even if there's a seemingly difficult time, there's a preference. There's a preference. It sees through the circus. When there's a glimpse, it sees, oh, this is just a game. This is just a play. But the preference is the fun clowns. When it gets bit by the tiger, it complains. It's a circus, so everything is allowed in a circus. Everything. Everything is. And then once it's seen that the circus is just a play, that the only clown is actually the me. The me that thinks that it has a preference, the me that it thinks it has a free will or choice or understanding of what's happening. This is not about understanding. This is not about getting. This is about a loss. So when the loss of the believing that this is happening to me, when the loss is saying that that glimpse is actually the seeing that there's never been anything here, not to be maintained, that seeing is when the me is seen through. It's seen through the illusion that there's never been a me. But seemingly, when there's a contractedness or where there is an apparent coming back, there's nothing that comes back. It's kind of like I always say this. I don't know if you guys know the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus. When the story becomes made real again, it's kind of like a kid that realizes that there's no Santa Claus when he's 20 years old. When he turns 30, believes in Santa Claus again. Because there's a preference of that story. So it's almost like madness. It goes into that circular loop of knowing and unknowing again. So what's being expressed here is that there's no circus. Because the one that creates a circus is the circus, is the illusion, is the me, is the story, is the show. And once it's seen that everything that appearing is pure emptiness. It's infinity. It's this infinity appears in everything, even in that contraction. In the infinite expression of infinity, it infinitely expresses as whatever it is. It could be this heaviness, it could be this or it could be this elation, jumping up and down and kissing everyone, but there's no one there. It could be this like, wow. So everything in the infinite expression of infinity, it infinitely expresses as everything, as nothing. Everything, everything that can arise, everything, it could be a headache, it could be a toothache, it could be the sweetness of a fruit that you ate, it could be the smelling of that fresh air, or smelling of stench and foul, is all included. Everything is not ever included, including the idea that this is not it. It's always this. There's nothing outside of this. There's nothing outside of preference. There's nothing outside of non-preference, because everything is a story, but it's also appearing as infinity. Stories is infinity. Emptiness is everything. So everything is not, nothing is ever not included. So when there's a circus apparently happening again, it's just a circus. It's infinity appearing as a circus. The clowns that appears, the knowing, the unknowing, the heartaches, the liberation is all allness. Oh, that's a new word, allness. Allness is everything. So all and everything ever that has ever been seen is just appearing here and not here. And there's nothing outside of here and here. The here-ness is the totalness. So this is totality appearing as fractured, as segmented. There's nothing outside of this. There's no before or after. So look around. This is it. This is it. This is everythingness. This is allness. This is it. And not even this is it. Not even it is it. So allness, everythingness, nothingness is all appearing here, in the here-ness. Since everything is apparently moving, but it's actually still, everything that seemingly seems to be comprehended or not comprehended is all included. So when it's seen it's just a circus, it becomes funny. It becomes hilarious. It becomes something of a comedy show, rather than the dramatic thinking that, oh, here we go again. Here's the meaning and being. Oh, what am I doing in this meeting? Oh, wow. Whatever seems to happen, happens. It's all included. There goes my anxiety. There goes my, oh, I'm really great today. So everything that is happening, there's nothing outside of this. But the circus, what do you call that again? The ringleader of the circus wants to whip everything into shape. Wants to whip into the lions and the thing. It's quite abusive, saying if you look at it, trains all the elephants and the monkeys and the tigers all in place. Oh, there's anxiety. Psh. No. It takes everything seriously, really, but it's really nothing but a show. So everything that appears in this circus is hilarious when the ringleader is seen as empty. When everything is seen as empty. Everything is empty, but there seems to be a circular. If you see the pattern that is being expressed here, there's a circular notion that there's something going on. And the only one that thinks that there's something going on is the apparent ringleader of the circus. And that ringleader is the me. It's the one that tries to control everything in the circus. But what it doesn't see is that everything that it's controlling is completely empty. It's all emptiness. The depression, the anger, the laughter is all empty. The lions, the tigers, the elephants, they're all empty. So I'm going to say this, and it's going to be freaky. There's no laughter, there's no anxiety, there's no elation. It's all empty too. There's no liberation, there's no bondage. It's all empty too. There's no anxiety, there's no sadness, there's no crying, there's no laughing, there's nothing at all. It's all empty. So when there's this big reveal from the big tent opens up and says, oh, it's all empty. It's all empty. It's always been empty. It's always been empty. Since it's empty, everything is allowed. That appearance of that tiger of a headache, that appearance of that heaviness of an elephant, that monkeying around of apparent being, are all just a circular thing. It's a circus. All of the seekers and all of the speakers are all empty. So there's no more empty here than empty there when it's all empty. There's no speaker that's emptier or a seeker that's emptier. It's all empty. But when the circus comes into town, then there is, oh, that one is a tiger, that one is this, that one. It labels everything. It whips everything into shape. But when it's seen, I really like Cirque du Soleil. I don't know if you guys have seen Cirque du Soleil. I really, really love Cirque du Soleil because it's a circus within a circus. It's making fun of the circus. But it's serious as well. But there is in between it, there's this comedic thing that, oh, this is a circus. It's being expressed as a circus. And when I was a kid, I used to go to this circus and my mouth would be, I would be gagging at it. I'm like, oh, wow, elephants and everything. So that's what seems to be happening is there's this complete belief that the circus is really in town. Although it leaves, the circus comes once in a while. It digs up a tent and everything, and there's this kind of like madness and entertainment and everything. The me believes that the circus is permanent. That the show is always here. That it's the circus. That the ringleader is really real. That the one that controls, the one that it's this idea that everything is happening in a big tent. But once the circus packs up and goes to another town, this is just a story, it's all empty. It never really happened. and then when you're a kid, you always say, I want to join the circus. I want to join the circus, but you're in it actually. It's that childish wish for drama and flair and everything. Here it is. But it's all empty at the same time. You've never been to a circus because there's no circus. There's this imaginary circus that comes to town and leaves and comes to town. And all that there is this. Let's start with some questions. I think that was a pretty long introduction. I think that was pretty cool. I thought I didn't record. I'm like, oh, I have to do it all over again. Oops.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi, just a second. I'm just going to... Where are you? Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a bit difficult listening to this because when you're saying everything's empty,
yeah,
ultimately, I guess what you're saying is there's nothing else than this.
See, you're trying to. There's no one choosing there, right? What's heard is that you're trying to understand what empty is. You're trying to get what empty is. You're trying to make it into a knowing. No one can understand what empty is because it's empty. Trying to understand that, it's blank. So what's there to understand? It's trying to make it real. It's trying to make the air visible. It's trying to make the mystery solved. There's nothing wrong or right about that. But that's what the circus, what I'm talking about, is, right? It's all empty, but all of these things jump up and down like entertainment. It's trying to entertain all of these ideas and making it real. Kind of like a magic show. It's all smoke and mirrors. I'm on theme here, huh? I'm still talking about the circus.
The thing is, like, I suppose you said it's all empty, like,
Yeah.
so the whole appearance is empty, but this communication is really empty in as far as it doesn't give anything. The other communications might be empty too, but they seem to promise something for the individual. And the problem with this, I'm not interested in those communications, obviously,
Okay.
but
All right.
but the problem with this communication for me is I still want to be given something.
Yeah, and I'm going to repeat this again, and I always say this. This is emptiness speaking to emptiness, but there's a belief there that there is a show going on, that there is something. Even though what's being expressed here is that there's nothing that can be given because it's already here. This is already emptiness. This is already infinity. So you're trying to capture infinity and make it into a time thing, a segmented time, a fractured time. If I give you something, then it becomes time, meaning that it's not really real. I can pretend to have transmission and close my eyes and lift off my hat and show you my third eye chakra.
That would make me feel very special.
But that's a smoke and mirror show. Right? So here is the revelation that nothing is happening, that there's no circus in town, but you keep on repeating childhood fantasies about something called like a circus or a show or something that you've watched. So the one that's watching, the one that thinks it has all of these memories or has this feeling that everything can be achieved later, is the show, is the illusion. The one that's nodding, the one that's trying to understand this, is the illusion. So all that can be expressed here is that to reveal, ta-da, that there's no one behind the curtain. That's
Thanks,
all.
Emerson.
Yeah. Okay. Petra, hi. Oh, I can't hear you. There we go. There we go.
I'm on my mobile. It's a bit difficult.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to a talk this morning when you said to someone, yeah, everything's fine. You never did something wrong.
No.
Which I heard very often. And then but you never did something right. And I was like, oh. Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Someone was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I left the house, and it was so, wow, there's no one here, and
Yeah.
it's just all happening and disappearing at the same time. How come I can walk here? It's so wow. It's not that I fall down. There's gravity. Wow, it's wow, what's this?
Yeah, although there's no one
It's a
here,
miracle that it's somehow working, or I don't know how to say. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it is. Even though there's no one here, everything seems to feel real as well.
Wow.
So the holding of the cup, the drinking,
Yeah,
the
and
driving, it's just all
driving the car. It's wow, what's this? Incredible, yeah.
I was trying to go ahead, sorry.
Then I had lunch with my mom, and my brother came. He had a lot of trouble in his work, and he was like, and suddenly I started laughing, and I laughed like crazy, and he started laughing too. I said, "What? Did you take any pills today?" What, my mother, what's wrong with her today? She must be crazy. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's all. I can't take it serious anymore. I'm sorry.
Yes. Doesn't it all look like clowns now? Like
Absolutely.
kind of like with it's hilarious. That's what the cosmic joke is, that
Yeah.
everyone thinks that that there is something happening, but when it's
Yeah.
seen that there's no one here, everything just looks like animated characters doing this and that. And
Yeah, and my brother asked me, "What's wrong with you?" But then it's nothing. You did nothing, and no one does anything. It's just
yeah.
happening.
Ha?
And you're 90.9%.
Empty space.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I love
Thanks.
you emptily. This love is
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. It's just sharing. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you for
So
sharing.
vibrating.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It
Mm-hmm.
is. It is. I often thank you so much for sharing, Petra. I often get into giggle fits because one time my parents were apparently bickering back and forth, and I just bursted out into laughter, just laughing because it just looks like a TV show sometimes, right? There's nothing behind it. Kind of like it's all a screen and everything is empty behind that screen. It's like it's like um it's like a 3D versions of screens. It's like this flat screen TV but in a 3D thing. And you go
Yeah.
behind it, there's nothing behind it. You're like, "Ooh, there's nothing behind anything."
Yeah, in the story we were watching Alf all the time, and we enjoyed it so much. And I told him, "What would Alf say now?" And he also bursted out laughing. Yeah, yeah, you can't take it serious anymore. Then.
No, 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 no. No, no. Beautiful, thank you. Stunning. Um, Nina, do you have a question? Oh, okay. Oh no, sorry. I just saw your mic on there. Question here. Can you talk about the instant forgiveness as again? Yes, yes. Um, so when there is this seeing that there's never been anyone here, that there's no one behind those eyes, and there's no one behind these eyes, everything seemingly appears as completely pure and innocent. That's why there's laughter. All the character traits, all of the history with this character is all forgiven because it's finally seen completely empty, meaning pure and innocent. So it doesn't have any history. It doesn't have any kind of hold on to anything anymore. Everything that's appearing is just pure and innocent because it's being seen as completely empty. There's never been anyone here, and there's no history really. So yeah, no one ever did you wrong. You've never done wrong to anyone. No one has ever loved you, but no one has also hated you. And no one even thinks of you. No one's ever thought about you. You've never thought about anyone. So there's this there's this drama sometimes thinking that, oh, I wonder what she or he thinks about me. This is what I think of him or her. And it's all just going into this circular thing with really nothing happening. And you're going to confront somebody, what did you say about me? Automatically, the person will say nothing, or they'll say something, and then it starts into a conflict. So it's just kind of like this scripted TV show, but no one wrote the script. Everything is popping automatically. So there's really no drama. That's why it becomes comedic, because when it's seen that everything's just happening all at the same time, so the idea that someone has thought about you, or your thought about something, this is what I think about this person. It's all happening automatically. It's all at once. So conflicts become a little bit hilarious, because conflict seemingly seems to have a beginning, the start of a conflict, an understanding of the conflict, a memory of the conflict. When there's really no one conflicting, there's no other side. There's no that side, there's no this side. Everything is just apparently appearing automatically. So no one has ever said anything bad or good about you, because there's no one. You've never thought of anyone bad or good, because there's no you. So judgments appear seemingly, and that's okay, but there's no basis on it really. There's no one choosing to judge you or not you anyway, because there's no one judging. So seemingly all of this appearing is not really happening. William.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi.
So you said in the introduction that kind of like, what's the problem with contraction?
Yeah.
And you also said, what's the problem with like heaviness appearing, like you referred to it as the elephant. I'm staying on theme. But you look like, but I never met you, obviously, or saw you when you were feeling like a person, but there's no heaviness there. And I assume there might have been in the story when you felt like someone. And I want liberation so I can get rid of the heaviness.
Yeah, there's no one getting rid of the heaviness. The heaviness appears sometimes, right? Heaviness appears. There's this seeing that, when the speaker is talking about this, there's a lot of lightness, because there's this passion about this speaking. It doesn't, I don't know where it comes from, but there's just this exuberant feeling that's being expressed, that there's nothing here. But last night my computer got hacked, and someone emptied an account, like a money account, and I said, "Fuck, what?" And I was gonna, like, for maybe about 2 minutes, I was trying to secure my account and everything, but that came from nowhere as well. So when it's seen that that's coming from nowhere, it's basically empty. It doesn't have that stickiness to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's going to say, "Oh, everything is well," When that expression of anger, or kind of like, shit, since it's not coming from anyone, it's just, as I said, everything is just popping out automatically. This is all at once. So when it's seen that it's all at once and it's empty, really, it's just an apparent reaction, but no one is there. It's just a reaction. Kind of like how, and there's no cause and effect. So that dramatic, expression is not made into a sequel. It's not made into a mini series. It's just
because
a
it's
story. It's not.
Like,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say how you said that there's no stickiness to it. If that happens, and there's a sense of an individual, they're not just going to go, "Oh fuck." I know what I would do. I'd ring everyone and go, "You won't believe what happened to me. It's awful." And I'd be talking about it the next week. I'd still be ringing people the next week. Go, "Can you believe what happened?" Even when the money was back in my account and they found out who did it and got the money back, I'd still be calling people a month later going, "You'll never believe what happened to me the other month."
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, is because it happened to a me, right? There's this really strong belief that it's happening to me, that I'm victimized. But when it's seen as that shit happens, it just happens. It doesn't happen to anyone. Then there's no more weight to it, because there's no investment in the me. So everything seems to be just an appearance and it's not really happening, right? So that seemed to appear as like, oh, wow. Um, and seemingly there's this narrator, that kind of like, that goes around thinking that, oh, I can't believe this happened to me, oh my goodness. Even if that shows up, it's just seen as a clown. Ah, there's the clown again. It's just this funny, all of this narrator and everything, or not even a clown is something really serious, right? It's not taken seriously anymore. It's like it's like an Alexa app that you've disabled the realness, the belief. The belief function is disabled. This still comes up, but the belief, or the real thing to it that make Alexa believable and completely, it's gone. You're like, oh, there's this switch. I don't have to believe anything that Alexa tells me. The William app, there's the on switch that everything that you think is happening to you, and it's just really a seeing that there. Oh wow, that's it's just what's happening. There's really no volume because it's just an app.
A persistent app, but thank you.
Well, it's programmed to be that way by no one. Gillen, it's good to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
My client canceled, so I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. It's not really a question, but an observation.
Yeah.
Uh, when apparent others tell their story, they are very dramatic and they really ask to be believed in their story.
Of
So,
course. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then when you just tell them that, well, then you should maybe do this thing, and then now the breaks comes in because they just wanted the attention of the story, but they don't want to change it because
No.
it is very interesting for them to be. It's an addiction, that thing,
It
huh?
is. It is. Yeah. It
Oh
is.
my
It
God.
is. There's nothing wrong or right. It's all pure and innocent
No,
too.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
And
reminds me of my little nephew and my little nieces. I have in the story I have 6 nephews and nieces, and I have about 20 godchildren. I'm a godfather. Um, so I have a lot of kids apparently that comes on. This is just a story, but it reminds me when they tell me that they have an imaginary friend. So the me is the imaginary friend. That's quite abusive, actually.
oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah. So there's this
it
belief
was
that this
awful.
imaginary friend, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's this belief that this imaginary friend is running their life, and they think it's them. So the imaginary friend, and then the apparent emptiness is appearing together, but the belief is that the belief is makes this real. The imaginary friend is real, and so that's what's seen here, that there's this imaginary friend emptiness with an imaginary friend that is expressing as totality, as the real one.
Human being, apparent human being, they don't have enough of their inner story and and the news and then the movies that are awful and a certain delight of being hurt
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somehow.
It's the belief again. There's this.
Yeah,
It's a circular. It's a circus. It's a
yeah,
circular thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
it's the belief is entertainment. It
yeah.
entertains that I am real, that this is
Uh-huh.
happening to me, that I have to do
Yeah,
something. So it
yeah,
self generates it over and over again because there's this loop of knowing and unknowing in this loop. It's like an innocent child has gone into a merry-go-round, and then
yeah,
while riding the ups and down of the merry-go-round completely believes that it's the merry-go-round. Really, it's emptiness. It's pure and innocent, like a
yeah,
completely
yeah,
innocent child, and then believes the ups and downs, and all of this, a merry-go-round becomes a story, a saga,
yeah.
a trilogy. Um, I was
It,
laughing
you
actually
know,
when I called this meetings trilogy because When the me kind of like there's no me creates a story, it's not just one story. It becomes many parts. It becomes a trilogy. It becomes a mini series. It becomes Star Wars 28, 29. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you know, in the Bible, I'm not I'm not good in the Bible, but some things comes up like the job story, for like job, the guy had every fucking story on him and never kind of it never destroy his God link, his
Yeah,
link
yeah.
with God. So it's a bit like it was tried and tried and tried, like you've been hacked apparently and everything, and still you're like you don't budge. That's crazy. This adventure it's a crazy
Because
thing.
it's just seen that even the hacker is pure and innocent.
Yeah.
There's no
And there
hackers
ain't
really.
any hackers. And
Yeah.
still I like the
Yeah.
stories about the hackers now that going into the war thing, and they try to, but it's only stories, but there's something in us apparently that likes stories
Oh yeah, of
until
course.
we suffer so much, then
Yeah.
oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, when it becomes a me-centric, the story, then the story becomes suffering. When it's
Oh
not
yeah.
when the me is seen as something that is the story, then it becomes entertainment.
Yeah. But you said maybe that non-duality becomes to be an entertainment. uh,
Yeah,
I guess too that there's only silence in a way, so these
everything is
meeting
allowed. Yeah,
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 these meeting are the only place apparently
yeah,
to share the delight of this
yeah.
amazing thing. So
It is. It is. It's kind of like
yeah.
it's like a okay. You know what? There's so much circus out there. I just want to be able to um just see it, just basically express this emptiness that is
Yeah.
really radiant and really all that there is. And in these meetings there is this expression that is all empty. um
Yeah.
and even though there is it's just emptiness. It's what's being
Yes.
expressed here, meaning that there's nothing to give, there's nothing to
No.
receive. It's just all empty, and it's just what's being exposed here, that it's always been emptiness.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. Bertrand.
Hi, hi,
Hi.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. So um what about I was just asking, what about the so 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 what you're saying is basically there's nowhere to go, nothing to get, um and that the me is always trying to get some, like the me thinks that you're somewhere, and it's trying to get where it thinks you are.
Yeah, you're making it a bit complicated, because you're inserting, by thinking that the me is real, it's
Yeah.
reinserting itself over and over again, right? Let's just clarify that a little bit, that there's never been a me. So all this
Okay.
seemingly a happening is just a happening with no one
Yeah.
behind it, right? So I don't know, repeat what you said again and see if if you can take the me out of the narrative. I don't know. Let's I don't know if you can.
Uh, it, repeat what I said without the me.
Yeah. Let's just play. This is just all
Uh,
play.
if I take the me out, then it's just I don't know, nothing.
There you go. It's really nothing. It has nowhere to go, right? Because there's no one to do anything. It's just empty. Yeah, just like this. There's nothing behind that mask. There's nothing behind those eyes. There's nothing behind. You're not really looking at anything here. It's all emptiness. But in the appearance, there's an appearance of someone here. But even the word someone is made up. Every word is made up. So why do you believe in words? Every word is empty. So me is just M-E, and M is, what are really alphabets really? What are they?
Nothing.
Nothing, yeah. They're just like ma, me. No, there's no me. It's the equivalent of crows, dogs barking, or cat meowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Seemingly,
utterly meaningless.
seemingly, all of this meowing and barking are segmented into phonetics, and then it puts meaning into it, without really any words, without anything that you said. Everything is already perfect. If everyone was mute and deaf, they'll just be seeing. And as I said, this is actually silence appearing as sounds simultaneously. So when there's this immediacy of seeing that it's just all emptiness appearing as sounds, words, the word me, that doesn't really mean anything, it all becomes meaningless. And it's seen that everything is appearing as it is. But since there are words, since there are, apparent, illusory thoughts and illusory me, everything is also as it is. But it's just lifting the veil here, saying that there's no one there. Those words are all empty. They don't mean anything. It's like telling a kid, when they're kind of like, calling and they're crying and they're like, there's a monster in the closet. And then you look at the monster, it's just really hangers with the shadow. And then you're like, look, you turn on the light. It's really just shadows. It's just a play of light.
Okay.
So the me is just a shadow. It's just an idea. There's no body. There's no you there. It's just all of this fear that you don't really exist. You're really afraid of your own absence. You're afraid that you're afraid of the seeing that when you sleep at night, when you go to deep sleep, the you disappear, meaning it's never really there. The moment that you apparently wake up, you try to make up, all of these stories rushes in, kind of like, I have to do this, I have to go work or whatever. But there's really no one there. It's just automatic popping all at once happening. There's no before and after. Like the blinking of the eye, like how you're scratching your nose, no one chose that. It's just happening. Like your heartbeat.
Like when you,
like the eyes blinking. It doesn't require me. It's just happening all at once. There's actually no heart beating if you really think of it. There's really no blood pumping. You're probably in the medical field. Don't say that to your patients.
Yeah. I was like, I better not show this to anyone. I'll get kicked out. There was it's probably another story, but when you were talking about all that, it's like, okay, there's nothing going on, as you say, but it's like, but.
Yeah, so
it's like,
so the one that's saying the but there is the illusion. Because
it's
it
another,
tries to That's
It's
the
the
story. Yeah.
storyteller.
Yeah. That's the storyteller. The one that's talking to me right now is the storyteller that believes its own story. So everything that you're telling me is a story. Everything that comes up is a story. It's also empty, empty stories, meaning that it's all emptiness, meaning that it's all this. So what you're looking for is appearing as empty stories, meaning it's all liberated. There's no one doing it, there's no one saying it, it's all emptiness. Even the butt is a story. It's all
It,
empty.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
there's like a book, for example, of Bertrand. The first couple of chapters are it's all empty, and all of a sudden, it made empty into something that it's not. Empty like this, empty that. You know, it becomes a story. Empty becomes expanded into letters. It becomes paragraph. So it's blank pages, and all of a sudden letters appear. At the end of the book, although there's no beginning or end, it's all empty again. It's always been empty. There's just these illusions of letters and words popping out, coming out from the imaginary book of me. And it's afraid
Okay.
to see its own blankness or allness or emptiness or nothingness because it believes in the words. Everything that you're really thinking
It,
about right now is just really words, and all words are meaningless. So
so it really is a loss then.
it is, yeah. That's why sometimes when there's a one-on-one that apparently happens that doesn't happen, it's usually it's usually speechless. What happens? The speechlessness is emptiness because it tricked, or not really tricked, but it glitched the illusion in seeing that it's not really there. But the illusion, or the circus or the show or whatever, or the story or the character, keeps on trying to come back with convincing lies that it's real.
So it tries to put on its best show, its
Like
best
a
story
like the best con artist. It keeps on conning you over and over again that you're here, that you're talking to me.
until it runs out of tricks.
Well, it doesn't really have any tricks, it's just automatically happening. It's when it see that that's the function of this app called Bertrand that it just cons you over and over again that there's a you. The moment that you wake up, it runs the show. The moment before you go to sleep, but it's never there. It's never there in a deep sleep. That split second when you wake up or before you go to sleep, meaning it's not really real. You are afraid of a hanger that's hanging in a closet thinking it's a monster.
Yeah. Someone told me is that you can't get rid of the me, it's not real. And
Yeah,
then
how
that
can you get
really
rid of
did
something
my
that's
head
not
in.
real? Yeah, you can't get rid of it
Yeah.
because it's not really real. There's a seeing that is not really real. There's a seeing. Since there's no you, how can you get rid of something? Since okay, let's just go a little bit expansive here. Since there's just emptiness, how can emptiness get rid of the me? I don't want you
Well,
to think I don't want you to think that you're emptiness. It's all emptiness. So it's all empty.
It's like how do you get rid of yourself? You can't.
You can't. There's no self.
Okay, thank you, Emerson.
All right.
I have to
All
go.
right. Come back again. Come back again.
Okay,
Let's
thank you.
exhaust the questions.
Oh no, okay, thank you, bye bye.
Anita, and then I'll go, and then after that, Rosie. Go ahead, Anita. Hi.
I'm back. Hi. I'm back in the circus.
You're not actually back in the circus. There's no you to be back in a circus. There was the seeing that everything is already empty. You're looking at the emptiness as a circus, but there's no you looking at all. It's all an appearance, but it's all empty. Trying to put meaning in the meaningless, trying to put understanding in the ununderstandable, is believing that there is something happening when it's all emptiness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what's happening.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It still feels like I'm letting
No,
loss of control. Yeah, that's a story. I know it's all
that's a story. Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because there was clarity here, there, that there's never been any Anita, but the apparent storyteller will just keep on running. You can't get rid of it, right? It's going to be a storyteller, but the belief that the storyteller or the character or the show or the circus is running you is suffering. It's like getting caught up in a ride of a merry-go-round and thinking that that's what's really happening. You can see that the merry-go-round just keeps on going in circle and circle and circle, and then when it's seen, even if you get hacked or whatever, then it's just seen as a happening, meaning that it's not happening to anyone. It's just all happening by itself. It's thinking that the show is about you when you think that there's this, it's happening to Anita and everything. There's nothing wrong or right about that when it's all just really innocent and pure. It's just a play. Even if it, that's why when I shared a story and I would not really repeat that story because it's really irrelevant. When your computer gets hacked, sometimes that could be like the most devastating thing. But isn't everything the most devastating thing when you believe in everything? It could be, yeah, it comes up with these stories and it just reinforces the me over and over again. So it could be a school issue or whatever. When it's seen as a happening to me, then there is the illusion again that it's a circus, that it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it's seen that it's just what's happening, and what's happening is really empty, it's really pure and innocent, not as a belief, but a resonance that everything is actually happening emptily. Meaning it doesn't have any meaning or purpose. It's just what's apparent happening. It's just what's apparently occurring, but for no reason at all. The moment that you put reason into it, the moment that you include characters into it that doesn't exist, then you're building a big top tent full of clowns, and you're the ringleader. It's all a show.
Yeah, I know it's a show.
Yeah. No, actually, you don't know it's a show. It's just a show. There's no you in the show. Hope you could come back at the. I have a next one. It's called The Party, and it's.
Yeah, I'm going back at the party. Yes.
You might not like it though, but yeah. But yeah,
Thank
when
you.
it's seen that there is just the show, it's all an empty stage. It's just a circus. The seeing that it's a circus, that there could be a ringleader in it, there could be lions jumping up and down, there could be pandemonium, whatever happens. There could be acrobatics, there could be juggling.
Yeah, I also like Circus du Soleil. I saw them live.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
but you think that you can control the circus, right? You think that you can. It's chaos. It's anarchy.
Oh,
There's
I
people
can't
juggling, eating
control it.
fire, and you think that you're the ringleader. That's why they're suffering. The show is going on without you. The circus
Yeah,
is
I
happening
know.
without you. But when you think that you're the ringleader or the director of the show, I forgot that yesterday. When you direct your show thinking that you are the director, the main star,
I'm not.
the producer, the writer, Then you just made the show real. When the show is just really happening without a you. Let me rewrite that scene. I don't like that. Let me rewind that. Let me fast forward. It's just a show. It doesn't. It's just streaming without any control, without any pause, without any rewind, without any forward. You can't edit because there's no you. There's no you to edit. So if it feels horrible, it feels horrible. If it feels unfair, it's unfair. If it feels really heavy, then it's heavy. But once it's seen that heaviness is just heaviness appearing as heaviness, meaning everything's popping out automatically without any cause and effect, it's just happening all at once. So it's just seen as a singularity or the infinite appearing as this feeling of it's unfair. So when you think that you're directing the show, you're the ringleader, you direct that and you extend that. Oh, that feeling makes me feel real. The illusion, if I extend this feeling of unfairness, if I repeat it over and over again, then it keeps me in the circular loop of knowing that I am real. Because all of this appearance, unfair, we're putting words into it, is actually unknowable. It's pure and innocent. It's just a play. The moment that the seriousness happens and says that this is being done to me, this is happening to me, then the director, the producer, the writer, the ringleader takes over the circus and tries to maintain the circus. It can't maintain something that's just happening. But let's do message me again, Anita. We'll go for we'll look at those residues that they're not really real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they're just residues of something that is appearing.
I'm back in the party.
Yay! No one showed up, but it's a party. Rosie, go ahead, please. Hi, Rosie.
Heya.
Hiya.
Oh. And you, is my screen?
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say thank you for this message. And also I'm just here very much in a state of resonance, but also equal parts, like what the fuck is going on? What are they all talking about? I have no idea. And yes, that's about it for me. Thank you.
Yeah. How did you hear about this communication?
Just a long line of seeking and just ended up here. And it's, yeah, very grateful for it. I, had heard that there was a lot of, like I'd been told, or had felt that other messages were like very direct. And I feel like this one's definitely but also in the story, I would have to say I'm grateful that I didn't find this message early on, considering how hard it felt with the not so direct messages. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so still listening to like heaps of non-dual speakers and pretty much just every day, all day, every day. But yeah, more and more it's like I don't know what you're talking about, and that's cool. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
See you.
I also wanted to express this. This is really funny that I don't really kind of like, I only pay attention to Facebook on Messenger and then a small group. If you guys want to join a small group, it's quite fun. There's posts there, but it's so funny because when I go to, this is just a really funny sharing from no one. But when I see the circus of non-duality out there, it's just really hilarious. They're so critical of this communication because it threatens everything that is being expressed that they have. It threatens the practices. It threatens their lineages. Buddhism or Zen, or it threatens the absurdity that their gurus are real, that there is a lineage, or that there's ever been any characters. So what's being expressed here is that there's never been any characters. There's really no one special. There's no sages. There's no wise beings. There's no prophets. There's no messiahs. It's this sober look at all of that intoxicating, sexy characters as nothing. It's very alluring, to have characters that seem to have gone on a journey, or ended up wearing nothing but loincloth and has a staff and walks around, and it's just a story. The moment that it all of these characters are made real and all of these lineage are made real, it traps the seeker into that story cycle, because there is a belief now that there are others, even though it's being revealed over and over again that there's no one here. And it's so funny, I laugh out loud, but they're like, yeah, but there's this sage that was really no one. If there's no one here, there's no hierarchy of no one. He's more no one, he's more empty. That's really reached its full no one. So there's these levels of no oneness. Oh yeah, that one is completely no one because doesn't even laugh. It's just really silent and wears a loincloth. Or that one got crucified. So there's really no one there. If there's no one, it just means that there's no one. There's no one here, there's no one there, there's no one in the history. But in the history, I'm devoted to this no one. Although this no one is telling me that there's no one, but just a holy no one. There's never been anyone. All that there is this. So any historical figures are equally empty. When it's being expressed that it's all empty, all the history books are blank. All the future is blank. Everything is blank.
The fuck? How did that happen?
Because it doesn't happen.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Or as Anna puts it, the one who wants to know is the whole day on show in your circus.
It's the circus. It's a circus, right? So when I look at all of these apparent, they would have this holy kind of like, sages as put on the pedestals and everything. It's kind of funny now. It's kind of funny because there's this specialness, there's this preference. Or even when some non-duality speakers, put importance on something, it's like it's like it's like coloring a color book and putting glitters on it. It's still a coloring book. It's not real. or, or putting highlights on a blank page. It's still empty. Even if you highlight it, it's still empty. It's all empty. Or the funny thing right now is that there's this kind of like, oh, this non-duality, uncompromising is better than this. There's no one here to be better or not. This is all a story. Or why did you do this, Emerson? Why don't you become a non-duality influencer? That's all an illusion as well.
What is a non-duality influencer?
I'm not sure really, but no, it's just a funny way of saying I do like some radical non-duality speakers out there, but there's going to be more and more coming in that there's a glimpse and it becomes an understanding, and then they talk to the camera and but I see a lot of well, there's this seeing here that there's just a lot of contradictions in what they're saying. They're talking about kundalini, they're talking to someone, so they're trying to influence someone, but there's no one to influence, because if there's no one here, there's no one there, who am I going to influence?
Yeah, and they ask the person,
Yeah,
what do you want from that?
yeah,
So they
yeah,
talk to the person.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
true. Yes,
It's no
yes, yes.
different from a non-duality, kind of like from a brand endorser, and then they kind of like influence a brand and a lot of people buy it. There's um
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Ariana, because I love Ariana, and there's
No,
speakers that I
no,
love,
no, no.
but there are some new one coming in, and then I get
Every
into
day, every
every
day.
day. It's There's nothing wrong or right about that, but it's kind of like it becomes entertainment almost, right? Because it becomes kind of like their brand of non-duality, that there's kundalini, that there's something to do, that they're speaking to someone. Nothing wrong or right about that. This is just radical honesty
It
here.
doesn't change anything.
No,
I
no.
think that some people think that they want to do this for a job, like,
Oh yeah, there's nothing
but
wrong or right about
nobody
that. Yeah.
works.
There's nothing wrong or
The
right about
funny
that.
thing, it's a survival system, There is apparently someone that needs to survive and is dead. Everybody here is dead. There's no one. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. This apparent
No, no.
character, it just reacts automatically. So I kept on getting emails. They're like, "When are you going to do pop-up meetings?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess now." And I announced it like 6 hours before. And I always said this: if one person shows up, it's a one-on-one. If no one shows up, it's always been this way. No one always shows up.
There's no one. Oh, that's crazy. That's totally crazy. Oh my God.
Thank you, Gillen. This character is such a rascal. Yeah, going back into that, going back, this character used to really. The reason that it's speaking about that is that when he was in the dream, this character, when he was the ringleader of the circus, he used to really look up to a lot of these sages and would write, these beautiful passages and really highlight them and I would just really love them. When it was seen that all of those words are empty, no matter how beautiful and how poetic the words are that are appearing, it's all emptiness. So belief that there is something that is going to happen, that these words are going to reveal things, is also the show. There's nothing wrong or right about that because it's just a show, it's just a circus. The moment that there is a thinking or a belief system that you're juggling, that there's something that's juggling, or there's a preference, or there's a judgment, that there is a this or that there is an important here and a less important there. The moment that there's more than or less than, or the moment that there is this character that thinks it's less than or more than, then it has joined the circus again. But the circus is illusion. It's not really happening. It's all right. So sometimes, there's nothing wrong or right about that. Less than or more than. But what's being expressed here is the total absence of less than or more than, because all of them are appearances. It's not denying it, but it's seeing through its absence. So absence is seeing through its own absence and sees everything as absent, meaning everything's appearing and not appearing at the same time. Meaning that there is this happening. If it's raining, I'm going to, um, use an umbrella or not, and not say it's not raining. If there is an apparent sadness, sadness is happening but without the me. If there's an apparent hurt that apparently happens, hurt happens, but when it's seen that no one really hurt you because it's empty, no one's really behind those empty words that you think are hurtful, then it happens and then happens automatically. It assaults and forgives at the same time. So there's no cause and effect. There's the illusion of cause and effect, and there must be an illusion of hurt or believing that you're not an effective ringleader, that you're a good ringleader or a bad ringleader, but there's really no good or bad. Kind of like what Petra said, that you've done nothing wrong. You've also done nothing right. You've not done anything at all. It's a show. It's a circus. And when it's seen through this illusory veil of the big top or the curtains, that every performance that have happened is done. It's done. Then every time that there's a performance that's seen, meaning anger, pain, laughter, is seen as a performance. But there are no performers. I don't know when this idea came about that there's separation, or that there is a you or a me, because there's never been such a thing that there's there's someone thinking bad about me or I'm thinking bad about something. In the naturalness of everything, the show, the circus, is just really a party. You think you're not invited to the party, but it's just a party. I'm getting ahead of my next thing. I don't actually know what I'm going to talk about. I do write some stuff, but when it just comes out, because everything is automatically happening without anyone controlling the show, without anyone thinking. You've never thought about anything before. No one's thought about you too. I don't think about you. I'm sorry. You've never even thought about me. And just to be more clear, you've never met me. I've never met you. There's a show that there's time that we've met before, but it's a show. There's this idea that you saw an email from me or a post, but that did not come from me. I don't know where it came from. No one planned this. He didn't plan to be here, meaning that you did not have a choice. Because there's no you to make a choice. There's no one here that had ever made any choices. So why are you so guilty? Why is all this shame? When it's seen that it's a circus, that it's chaotic, that it is anarchy, that it's just wild, I dare you not to laugh. It's just wild. This is wildness. It's also nothing. Gillian.
I have difficulty not to talk, but I don't decide.
No, no, there's no you talking anyway. So, what are you talking about?
This Mickey.
Oh, yes.
No, but in the traditional non-dual, I'm not a pro in that because I was not as determined as you. But it's like it's a kind of, it looks like they want to tell the truth, but they don't expect the apparent people in front of them that they can accept the truth. Is that so? Is that something like that? What is
Um,
that happening?
in the story, this is just a story as well, right? Because this
Yeah.
character is a spiritual teacher, it really wants to maintain the story. So
Okay.
for it to maintain the story that it's real, it holds on to an idea of what the truth is.
Oh,
So it holds on to the idea that this is coming from a lineage, from Shiva, from whatever. It really earnestly thinks that but practice reinforces the me over and over again.
yeah.
It
But
does it
in the
does
direct,
pointers. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Even in the pointing, even in seemingly the direct pointing or whatever, the moment that it's realized that I am this and that, it's just the me that has gone underground and thinking it's a greater me now. It's
yeah,
still in the circus.
yeah. But in the direct path, they don't. I don't. I don't know. But they do. They do. Do they suggest to meditate or do things, or like Ramana Maharshi was like. Did he suggested thing? Me, I just saw picture and I said, "Oh, that guy is empty. That's for
It
sure."
doesn't matter because Ramana to me is just like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But in a
It's all
second way,
characters. It's all characters.
like it was known from that character because he was so.
That didn't really happen. See,
No,
see,
that's
that's kind
true.
of like making something that happened in the
Yeah.
past into something when it's just really simple. See, that's the
Yeah.
trickery,
Yeah.
right? The trick is that if it happened to this character in the past, it just basically triggered that you just made that character real. In
Yeah.
effect, made you real. So it's a
Yeah.
self-reinforcing mechanism to make the story real.
Yeah.
So any belief, a belief that someone got this, in a loincloth, or someone got this through being crucified, or I don't know, they're all stories. Everything that
Mm-hmm.
that is coming out is a story. Even this is a story because there's really no circus and everything. There's really no meeting here. There's really no one here.
Yeah.
But the story is just trying to expose that everything is a story, including
I
this.
think we like things. We like some things.
That's a story as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's empty, 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 empty,
That's
empty,
it.
empty,
That's it.
empty, empty, empty.
That's it.
Okay. No
That's
question at all.
love you. Emptily. Yeah, the reason this is quite challenging is because it exposes something that a lot of seekers don't want. It's that the most cherished possession in the story are held on to belief system. Really, really big belief system. And it's all rooted from a singular belief system that I am real. And then this other roots of belief is kind of like this tree, with this different roots or different branches of belief. I believe in a higher being. Once that's not done, then it kind of like goes underground and believes in a sage or an enlightened being or a speaker. So the moment that you believe that there's an Emerson here, that there's something that is on offer here, that there's something special here, then there's this belief that everything is real. Even if it says that I don't really believe that there's no me, it's just a belief that has just gone underground. There's a belief now in non-duality, it becomes dogmatic. It becomes a circus. It becomes a preference. I prefer this, I prefer that, I prefer this and that. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. But preference is actually a belief. Judgment is a belief. Desire is a belief. Letting go is a belief. Knowing is a belief. So the original belief is that I am, the moment that you wake up in the morning, that everything, that app of belief called the me is lagging. Kind of like my computer yesterday, when it starts lagging, then it's seen between the lines that it's not really real. It's just an appearance. Everything that you see is an appearance, but it's actually all emptiness.
So don't even believe in the circus. There is no circus.
Not believing sometimes is also a belief. So there's no way out of the belief. Just seeing that everything is a belief system, even the non-believing, is the seeing that everything is not really happening. It's all empty. Belief
it's happening
believe.
Happening and not happening at the same time. Just
not appearing at all. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Petra.
Thank you.
William.
Hi, Emerson.
For the win.
So I wanted to ask a question about embarrassment. Is that sort of connected to shame, of feeling like I'm not good enough because I did something wrong?
I'm not sure if you listened to the past hour and a half, but there's no one. So who's going to be embarrassed? And embarrassment is just a feeling that comes, and there's really no basis from it, right? There's no cause and effect. So it's just an innocent, it's like a hiccup. It's just this thought or an idea that doesn't really exist. It's just an occurrence of something, of the belief that there is someone that did something in the past. So the me, the original belief that I am real now believes in time. So that coupled with, a time and then the belief of others, then that becomes a mega belief now, right? It becomes a solid thing now. So it feels really real because I believe in myself. I believe that something happened in the past, and I believe there's others that I'm going to be embarrassed at. But when it's seen that all of that is really empty, like a dream at night, empty, that none of that really happened, that there's really no one there, there's really no one there. It's all empty.
So no one did anything in the past either.
It's all innocent.
To be ashamed of.
No, you never did anything as well. Yeah, there's no shame.
Thank you, Emerson.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We'll see you guys back soon. I'll leave the room open. I just need to take my dog out. But if you guys want to chat and everything, I'm going to stop the recording now. Bye.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you so much, Emerson.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for nothing.